my heart is stolen. Once I fall in love with your baby, no controlling. Ripe like plantain, sweet like pine wine, cocoa butter baby, yo. Brown skin gal, no time for darling, call her cocoa baby, yo. Temperature rise, look at that, girl, give me that, give me. Waiting for me, pronto. Moving real fast like a semi. Cause see, they let me like it. Call me Pampus, you be the Remy. And they call me Mr.
Hello, 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 everybody.
We are live.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Good, good, good. I'm excited. I feel like
I guess I'm doing good. I'm doing okay.
I see last minute talking bring you in.
You did. You guys did, but I'm okay.
I know
I'm right here.
You're right. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It is Friday again. Welcome to LIB Talks. If you have not shared already, get into the group. Don't be petty. Share. Share with your mom. Tell your mom to share with her friends. Tell your kids to share with their friends. Tell your husband to share with her friends. Tell everybody to share. Because tonight is what? LIB Talks. And what do? We take over every Friday. So tonight, we have a lot we are going to talk about tonight. We have what's trending tonight. We have some juicy G's for you guys tonight. But we also have our main topic tonight. A very, very important topic to talk about within our society. And we are going to be talking about how LGBTQ is treated in African society. So if you are interested and you want to be in this conversation tonight, make sure you stay tuned and you share. Like I said earlier, don't be petty, share. So how you doing? Lofa, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'll let the lady answer first and I'll come back later.
I'm doing good. Let me tell you, it was my last week of school and I took the summer off. So I'm ready to turn up this summer. We're going to the streets. The streets are calling our name.
Hey, Asa open.
Oh Lord, but I noticed Jennifer is not here. Where's Rose coming soon?
And Rose will be a little late, but you guys know it's graduation season, so it's grabbing everybody this time.
Yes.
Yep. So Lofa, you gonna tell us how you doing? I'm gonna move on past you.
Nah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm out here, whatever it takes to get the extra cash, I do it. If I got to fill in for Rose and Jennifer to get the extra cash, I'll come in here.
Yeah, money man.
We're hustling. That's what we do.
Wait, when did you start needing extra cash? I thought we were coming to you for that.
Hey, now the world is turning around. It was going the other way. Now it's going the other way around. So when the extra cash is needed, that's what we do. We play.
Oh Lord.
Well, it seems like he's not lying about that, Hawa. Have you seen recently what's been trending?
Right.
What has been trending?
So what has been trending recently, I don't know if you guys have all been seeing it on social media. I've been seeing it on many different outlets, whether it's American, African, however. So since when do women get down on their knees and propose to men? So I started seeing it on so many different outlets. It's gone so far that I've seen somebody very, very pregnant down on her knees at the beach proposing to a man.
Wait.
Just like I said.
Why?
Well, hold on. What's bad about that?
What do you mean? What's bad about that?
We did it before, and now y'all got to do it again.
What do you mean we did it before? What does that mean?
What does that mean?
That just means that back then it was us on our knees, and now you're doing it. Didn't you guys ask for gender equality? Hello.
We asked for gender equality. Yes, we did.
I'm missing a very important point here.
The very important point. I repeat for you.
Please do, because I'm confused.
You ask for gender equality, right? Gender equality gives you the opportunity now to do exactly what we did before and we'll continue to do. So just take it and run with it. SB Don Wallace, what's up, boss?
You know what? I'm over you, Lufa. You know, Lufa, that extra pay you're trying to get, don't get me started with you today. First of all, that has nothing to do with gender equality.
Thank you.
Get that very clear. What we women have been fighting for is not to get on our knees. Okay?
How?
Okay? We have
Yes.
been fighting to get on our knees. We've been fighting for equal rights, equal pay. Okay? Start looking at us like, yes, we can do it too, but not getting on your knees. There are certain things that women are not supposed to be doing. And getting on my knees to propose to a man is not one of those things.
Period.
No.
Period.
First of all, no. And then pregnant too, sis. You're doing too much. You're gonna hurt your back. Be careful. You don't need to be on your knees. That's what he's there for. Like Lufa, come back and come back again. Come back with something different. Because gender equality, no. Poor excuse.
Yep. Gender equality does not qualify in this situation. There is no way you will see this sis here. I don't care how fine you are. I don't care how rich you are. Your pot can be related to Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, whoever. I will not get down on my knees to propose to you. Then I'm gonna be very pregnant, baking your child for 9, almost 10 months. Then I should get on my knees and propose to you. You got me messed up.
I would love to hear what the audience thinks. Just start commenting. We want to hear what you think about this whole women proposing to men, because I have been seeing it a lot too, Vanessa. I've been seeing it a whole lot. It's like it's Becoming the new norm. Okay. Oh, it looks like we have an addition to the show. Hey,
Steve.
It seems like it's becoming the new norm that women get on their knees now to propose to these men. Why? When did we start doing that?
I would love to hear Steve's take on that.
Lufa thinks it's for gender equality because we are fighting for gender equality. That's what Lufa thinks.
That's what I think, and that's what I agree with. If you want gender equality, you cannot be selective in this entire process. You can't select where you want to be equal and where you don't want to be equal. You want to have equal pay, you want to have equal rights, and then we gave you equal rights to everything without limitation across the board. Then you don't want that. I don't know how is that.
That one is not right. That's not a right. No, thank you.
Well, okay, then we give you opportunity to that. Then, since it's not a right, you have an opportunity to do that.
So Lufa, you think that? Let me make it a little personal. You mean that? Will you want your woman that you're dating to get on her knees, right, and propose to you?
No, the question should be: would you want to take away that opportunity if she feels like she need to do it? Why should I be that guy to stop her? That is just cruel. Oh, that is mean.
No, that's not. No, it's not nothing about cruel. Then why aren't you being the man that you need to be and stepping up and doing it? What I'm realizing is these women are doing it because now they're probably getting tired of waiting. Because when y'all hear the word marriage, y'all feel like somebody put ball and chain on y'all, pulling y'all down, and y'all can't do nothing with your life.
But here's the thing. That way, at least I'm not infringing on your right or your desire to do anything. If you feel like you want to do it, hey, go ahead. I'm not going to say don't do it. But again, it should be something that I should do. I agree with that. But if you feel like you want to do it, let's be fair. Let's not, this gender equality, I'm going to give you the right to do anything you want to do.
You know what, Lufa? I can't. I don't even know how to respond to that. Because you just said, if you feel you want to do it, do you know how many women will be proposing to men? Because we know early on when we want to be with a man and when we think he's our husbands, we know. So do you know if I feel like I'm gonna put like it's my time not ready? You know how many women will be proposing to men that are not prepared?
So you know what? Let me keep quiet for a little bit before I go in deeper. You got Steve on here. Maybe Steve should contribute a little bit.
Well, good afternoon to all. Good morning to some and good day to everyone. As always, I like to start off by recognizing the Liberian people. Every time I have the opportunity, I want to recognize them because I believe they're the most important people. I also believe that the Liberian women are the most beautiful women on earth. Sorry for coming on late.
I can't judge the way the guy can butter us up before you come and give it to us. So the highway.
Sorry for coming on late, but thank you for the invite again.
Always.
Let me start off by saying this. Everything we do in life, for the most part, it has to be governed by culture, religion, ethnicity, sometimes education, and other factors might play in that might not be, but culture is critically important in everything we do. So I want to put it in the scenario of a typical Liberian or Liberians. Let me not use the word typical, but Liberians. We did not grow up, especially from a Christian standpoint of view. We did not grow up seeing women asking men in marriage or so forth. Now, but don't get me wrong, we're also in a society where these things are allowed. Now, don't get me wrong, we are in a society and a culture where these things are allowed in the United States. But the question is, where did these things come from? Where did they originate? Most of these ideas originated from, let's take for example, from Hollywood or movies and other things.
Okay.
And so they were brought in. Now they have become our reality, and they have become a challenge for us who were culturally schooled in a different way. And so it becomes a problem in understanding what's actually the real thing or what's not a real thing. But who's to say this is the real thing? Who's to not say this is not a real thing? And my brother Lofa, I have to agree with his position too. That yes,
here you go.
Listen now, because I have to talk to. I have to talk to. So I have to balance the conversation. I have to agree with this fact that we cannot take away this gender equality that women have so yearned for, women have so wanted, that if you take one away and don't leave this open. So yes, this idea of women trying to propose or so forth, personally, I see it's ridiculous. I think there is no need for it. I see it takes away the value from women. It takes away that, it shows desperation. It shows that you don't value yourself. I'll be very honest. It shows that you don't value yourself.
Thank you.
But for some, especially those who grew up in the US, guess what it will be? It will be that is their right. The issue of right. It will be that is their right. So, given that it is their right, it's up now to the man to say, hey, I don't do that. And I will encourage every man, any woman that proposes to you, run away from that woman. She's a problem woman. She's a desperate woman. And that should be your place. That's my honest advice to any man. Run away from that woman, be very afraid, and don't stay in that relationship. Move away.
But let me say this. I was having that conversation with someone recently, right? And I know you said that because we're in Western world, this is what's happening, and this is a norm, but it's not. The many people that I've spoken to think it's wrong, have the exact same thought as you, many Americans, because that is not a norm. When the society normalize such a behavior, when it's the men are supposed to be getting on one knee to do that. So I don't think that it's a norm. I think it's individualized. It's that person feeling like I need to step up and do it, and they will.
And can I interject something really quick? In context of this whole proposal, let me say this to the Liberian people. I want to speak to my typical Liberian. Let me use the word typical. To my Liberian people, let me say this to all this surprise engagement you're leaving. Engagement should not be a surprising thing. Let me say it again. It's a Hollywood mentality. It's a trick. Look, listen. First of all, let me say this. All these surprise engagements, cut it out. Engagement should not be a surprise. Let's say, for example, if Hawa, your husband, your current husband, wants to engage you, the proper thing he must do is to go and ensure that your parents are in concordance with that. Not only that, you should be aware that he's going to engage you. What if you are not ready for that engagement and you disgrace him when he try to engage you? So you see, engagement is like you are setting somebody up. It's like you're putting them on layaway. Let me put it that way. So if you are not ready to be on layaway and you still want to see other people while you're in a relationship, you want to talk to other people, don't you think he's taking away your rights for 100%?
No.
It's the layaway for me.
Because we don't look at it as layaway. Engagement, you're right. It should be discussed. So marriage should be discussed. Obviously, y'all should both be on the same page if y'all want to get married. That's a discussion that is a must.
Most
it's
definitely.
Very important. Now, as far as that's like you saying that the girl shouldn't be surprised when a man goes to her dad behind her back and talk about marriage. which the man does. That's a surprising thing some men will do. They will go to the girl's father and ask the man's hands for his daughter's hand in marriage. She's surprised, right? So I think that in that aspect of it, it should be a surprise. He went to her dad, he asked her, now he's proposing to her, surprisingly, because here's what happens, Steve. As a woman, let me tell you what we do. When we know about something, we put fire behind y'all. When we know that it's supposed to be happening, when it's happening now, you say we're going to do it now. Why is not happening now? When would this happen now? I think engagement being a surprise, it's nice. I don't think it's a Western thing. That I think it's nice.
So when a man rather walk away, should it be a surprise that he walks away?
Something totally different.
No, it's not different. It's not mutually exclusive. If you want a man to surprise your engagement, when a man rather walk away too, it can be a surprise. Don't take it personal.
Well, some people do that anyway. Let me read this comment really quick. Let me read this comment. So somebody said, "Hey Steve, there is no such thing as gender equality. Let's stop fooling our Black women. This is why our Black women around the world is the last to get married and the first to get divorced. Our Black women need to check themselves."
Oh wow!
Okay, that's
James K. Brown.
Well, some people might see as tough, but that's his view.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna let him keep that view.
Let him keep that.
I ain't gonna do it.
We want the viewers to be more engaged. Let's read their comments.
Who else? Somebody also said, as generations, SB Don Wallace said, as generations change, cultures change as well. Moreover, morals and principles, be it religious or not, are affected.
And I would disagree with that, because you know why? When someone said moral changes or culture changes, then the problem, it changes to what? In what context? Because if you tell me that my culture, like where we believe in a man supposed to marry a woman, out of a sudden, this is all I've known all of my life, and you got a few people bouncing around acting like a woman, and they are men, and you're expecting me to change to adapt to that. What sense does that make? Automatically, I should just adapt to it and make it look like it's a cultural thing, so I'm comfortable, I'm okay with it. At my age now, I mean, come on now.
I mean, you're right.
Think about it. Come on now. And I think that's the whole context of this conversation, especially with the LGBTQ or whatever title they got for it. That's proliferating in Liberia. It's coming up in Liberia very soon. I think honestly, maybe we try to not get to that, but me, I let it get to the point. I let it get to the choose.
We're gonna get that soon, but
I want you to hold that point. Hold it.
Hold it. Very controversial discussion, I'm sure. Because they already want us to start talking about it. Look for you too quiet. First you keep out this whole gender equality, and now you're just sitting back. Now that we're building on it, what do you think?
Hey, you know, when the conversation is going right, there's no need. That one thing I have learned is there's no reason to try to fix it when it's not spoiled. So I sit back when the conversation is going right. I sit back and follow. But when I feel the need to join and make my contribution, then I'll jump in and ask the opportunity to contribute. But for now, I think everybody's doing great. And I'm reading the comments on here.
You started this whole gender equality thing with this whole proposal thing.
I'm only trying to, I'm just trying to give what belongs to Caesar. Even in the Bible, it says, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. I mean, equally, you deserve the right. You deserve it, baby girl. You deserve it to get on your knees. You deserve it.
So it look like somebody.
You deserve it.
You see people agreeing with him. How some people say, so you just seen who is this? Minerva Grant. She says, so you just seen this fine man, and you know that feeling is there, but you cannot just go ask because of society norms.
Thank you.
But you know what? Then I would say this, and I would keep saying this. Men are slower to get on the page.
Okay, so Hawa, here, let me ask you the question then. Let me ask you a question, right? If you see, why is it that you can see a man and let him know you're feeling him, but you don't feel the need that you can propose to him? What's the difference between seeing a guy and letting him know, yo, I'm into you. I feel you.
How often is that done? Women don't typically do that. We don't typically see the man. We bluff the man and we act like we don't want to.
Since when that started? I'm
telling you, Nowadays, you would say that because of modern society, because of Western word, women are doing that now. Yes, I agree. But back then, we were not raised to go up to the man and say, "You fine, I like you."
No,
Like
but you be
I
flirting
don't
though. You don't
look.
have to say it like that, but you flirt with them. You flirt
I
with
don't
them.
take that.
You
I
don't have
don't
to
take
say it
that
like
as.
that.
I don't take that as Western. As Western, if you just
like,
if you have the
Yeah.
confidence and you're able to do it, you do it.
Vanessa, it's not like I would say what Steve usually say. Our own like brand culture. We don't do that. We
No, we
Liberian,
don't.
we don't do it.
We
So then
don't.
I'm gonna be on the Steve where I'm gonna say we Liberian women don't
I
we
say I would say back then. I was not. I would say not this
exactly
generation. I would
that's
say
what I
back then
said.
because this generation, me, she, her, I don't have an issue with that because I have the confidence. I don't have a problem with that.
Well,
I
but,
get
but
it.
you but you get restricted to confidence though. If somebody doesn't say it, doesn't necessarily mean they don't have confidence to say it.
No, I'm
It
not
just
Right.
saying
means
that they don't have. I'm not saying they don't have confidence to do it, but I'm saying just only don't stick it. Don't stick it on this. You following society. No, if it's something that you are comfortable doing, you will do it. If
so,
you feel that you're not comfortable and you expect that you want for somebody to come up to you and say something to you, fine. But I think it's all about how you were raised, number one, and what
yes.
your and what your comfortable ability is, because you can be raised a certain way as well, but you can still have confidence in yourself to go ahead and do it.
I agree. I agree with
And
self-confidence.
and, and I want to agree with Hawa's point that most times women play hard to get. But the truth about it, that's what they want.
No, that's true. That's true.
And there's no need.
Sometimes we can go approach and then go play hard to get after.
Why? And there's no need for her to be doing that. How about that?
But we do though. But we do. It's just part of it.
There is no need.
But let's read Aliyu Samba's comment. Men and women are equal in many respects. The problem recently has been the misunderstanding of the phrase gender equality. Men and women have separate responsibilities, which can be considered equal responsibility. If our so-called educated African women, if our so-called educated African women understand that
Wow.
they can be equal at the same time and remain women, the better everything will be. First of all, as an educated woman, there's nothing so-called about me.
There's two educated women on here. Try again.
All of us on here, usually there are about 4 of us on
Four
here.
of us, but there's two right now.
And we speak to a lot of educated women that are out there. We don't look at gender equality to be something to disrespect our partners or our spouses. We see that as a way we have fought our way. Rosa Parks, we have a lot of women that fought their way for women to have the same right, for women's voices to be heard. So this is when we talk about gender equality, this is what we're talking about. It don't mean that men and men, we're in the home, we are hand in hand. So if you talk about if we so-called educated women, education don't make you disrespectful. If you become disrespectful because you're educated, then something is wrong with you, not all women. Okay.
Education does not make you disrespectful, nor does it not make you ignorant to what your role is supposed to be. Let's clarify that. Just because I am an educated, independent woman and I'm able to do for myself, I have educated myself and I am growing myself and I am great in my career and prospering in my career, that does not mean that I look down on any man or would diminish my husband or diminish my significant other. No.
But some people have misinterpreted, misconstrued, or so forth this issue of education. Some women, and
you're right.
And so at the end of the day, they take advantage of this whole gender equality thing to take it to the next level, wherein it's been misinterpreted, and you brought Rosa Parks' fight or her struggle and other women who've contributed to give women right. It was not intended for women to override their husband or their partners or so forth. It was never intended, but that was not the purpose, or to be at an equilibrium, not necessarily. From a social standpoint, it was mostly giving women rights to any education, to the right pay, to valuing them in society as not just being mothers in the kitchen and cooking, or just wives taking care of the children 24/7, but it has something else to contribute to society too. They could go to work, they could earn an income, they could become independent as all of these different things, was not about being pompous, being disrespectful. That you bring money, I bring money. Who come in? Don't bring that nonsense here. We're not in Africa. All these disrespectful things and so forth. Or I make more than you. So I guess we just need to educate our people on some of these things. That the title educated women, or educated man does not make you better than anybody, or it does not put you out there and so forth. That's just my view. I don't know.
The comments are crazy in here, Hawa.
Comments, please read them because we don't want them coming at us about this.
So James K. Brown, he coming at us today. So he says, Aliyu V. Samba, please stop, man. Men and women are not equal. Women need men to survive. Men do not need women to survive. Hawa, your definition of gender equality is not what most women in the world is defining.
That's of course it's true, obviously, but I don't feel like I need to be like most women and most men. I speak for myself and people that I've communicated with, knowing that.
But I disagree with the comment that
I disagree what he said about men, that women need men to survive, but men don't need women to survive. I think it's both ways that we need each other. So let's not do because the man is masculine and he don't need anybody. No. Men need a female just as much as a woman needs a man. But you know what? Let's save this topic for another day, Hawa, and let's try to get into our main topic that everybody is waiting for. You're on mute, babe.
Before we do that, I just want to make sure you guys can hear me fine. My computer's been acting funny.
No, you're not on your blonde thing today. You're fine.
Oh, I'm not? Okay. And forgive my 3-year-old who used to be with mommy in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get to it. We're right. You're right. Steve is here for this topic. It looks like the audience are ready for it as well.
So let's give them what they're looking for.
Let's give you guys what you're looking for. This topic came about because the most recent trending video on social media just stir up this topic. And the crazy thing is that we had talked about this like a week ago, but we're going to do this topic later on, and all of this just fell right in place. So that's why we're doing it now. But it's important. So I'm going to just give a quote from former President Barack Obama, my president. When you start treating people differently, not because of any harm they are doing to anybody, but because they are different, that's the path whereby freedom begun to erode. If you start treating people differently, not because of any harm that they have done, not because of anything that they have done, just because of pretty much what they identify themselves as, that's when problems comes. That's when people have to fight for their freedom. Society has made sexual identification a criminal act, which in turn has affected many lives. Questions of sexual orientation and gender identity and expression continue to divide opinion across the globe. This is primarily driven by legal, cultural, and religion beliefs and interpretation. Identifying as anything other than heterosexual has been frowned upon for many years. Over the past few decades, sexual orientation has been a topic of discussion for many African nations. These talks surrounded the legalization of one's sexual identity. So just reading all of that, reading Barack quotes, reading what society pretty much has made this conversation out of, before we even get to the LGBTQ community and what that stands for, because some people are wondering what that is. I just want you guys to just give me a little overview of what happened on social media this week and what does that mean to you before we get into the topic. I just advise us to not get carried away and get deep into the topic. Just what do you think of the current trending video of this 19-year-old that has been trending on social media? You're there?
Yeah, we're on mute. Sorry. So I saw the video. I think I saw it on Facebook, and then I also saw it on Instagram on the Chichipole Instagram page. But I saw this young man, and at first the picture was there saying that he was kicked out of school due to the way he's dressed. They kicked him out of the school. And then I saw the video later of him without his hair on, and he had the makeup and everything. And then later on, he took the picture and stuff, but he was arguing back and forth with this older lady. And the older lady is asking him, do you know God, and all kind of things, and they're just going back and forth. And just me watching the video, and even seeing the that they put this boy out of the school, it just made me think about how the African society has not adapted to this culture yet. Now, I know some of you will go back and forth and go back and forth with me and say, it's against the Bible, it shouldn't, this is the American culture, let it stay in America, let it not come to Liberia, and da 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 da. But but it's almost like it's not even really the culture in general, is more of religious beliefs. And I think Africans, especially Liberians, are more into what they have read in the Bible. And when it comes to LGBTQ, that is like a big taboo thing. That is a big issue. That is a big problem. And it's like, how dare you talk about it? How dare you even promote it? It shouldn't be in our society. It shouldn't be talked about this. It shouldn't be involved. But whether y'all like it or not, is there. It's all over. Is there. So now the question will be is how can we handle it? How can we make ourselves, I don't know, find a way to try to be respectful to someone? Because at the end of the day, that person is a person, and they are living their life. You may not like it, but you are not living that person's life. And then you also have to put yourself in the shoes of, if this was your family member, your child, your brother, your sister, your relative, your friend, would you be so easy to throw that person away?
Yeah, you're right. Steve, I just wanted to us to just give like a little intro background on how you felt about the video before we get into the rest of the conversation.
Well, how I felt about the video, I felt very concerned.
Of course.
I felt very disturbed. I felt very strange.
Mm.
And lastly, I felt very let me use the word disgusted.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm saying this is I don't want to speak from a religious standpoint. I don't, because everyone has a different religious background belief. And I was raised as a Christian or so forth, and I'm proud of that, by a Muslim grandmother. Um, but I want to speak from a social, economic, and from a feminist, someone who promotes females' agenda, women's agenda, because I was raised by women. And I cherish women a lot. This is why I always say what I say about women.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very dangerous path for women. And I will urge the Liberian women not to encourage this. You don't want to get into this competition. You don't. It's very risky. That's why I will stop for now.
All right, Rose, any thoughts about the video before we get into the discussion?
We live in a different society now, and people are different. People have changed. So we have gotten used to different things. But for me personally, I don't have a problem with people doing whatever they want to do with their life. But when it comes to, I think, how you mentioned the school, I think you should be able to go to school appropriately. I don't care what it is. If you're a man, go to school like a man. When you get out of there, you can do your other stuff. But those are kids in those schools that don't need to be saying stuff like that. Because if I had my kid in that school, I would definitely take him out of the school. Because it's not something, because kids go by learning behavior. So I have no problem with people dressing and wanting to be a woman, wanting to be a man. I have no problem with that. I have friends that like that. But when it comes to in a kids environment, I have a problem with that.
Okay.
Because now you want another kid to adapt or learn something that they have no business learning. So the video, that's his personal place of I don't know, he's selling something there, or that's his supermarket or his market or whatever. He have the right to do whatever he want to do there. But when it comes to the school, I'm 100% on the school board and agree that if you must go to a school with boys and girls, you must go there as a boy and you must go there as a girl.
Okay.
That's it.
I don't think I've read anywhere where it said that he was in school dressed like that.
No, he went. It's an issue about the school too. So it is an issue about him going to school and being a girl.
Okay.
So it's a whole issue.
Again, this is so new. We're still learning about it, but we wanted to have a discussion. But before we go, let me just read some comments because I'm just gonna give some definition and then we're gonna discuss. Portia Dobson said, I think that people fail to remember that in Africa has its own moral and belief system. I don't think that it is something that should be pushed on an entire group of people if they do not agree with it. However, there does have to be a shame and disrespect brought upon the individual that believes otherwise. Mary Grant said they take out sexual molester in their homes. They talk about I think she's trying to talk about sexual molestation than they do as gay and lesbians.
Right.
If women want a man, it's easier than a man wanting a woman. Okay, that was the prior conversation. All right, so I'm not going to keep reading. But
did you read the one says Russian man says you are right, Rose. The school has underage children and they learn from what they see around them. And then Octavius Gilman said Liberians are not ready to discuss this issue. And then one more person, TJ Payne says, what's appropriate when it comes to going to school? Clearly you have the problem.
Yes. So I want to respond to Octavius Gilman's comment. Liberians are not really ready to discuss this issue. That's why we're talking about it.
Right.
Because we are in a society where this is permanent. This is happening. We cannot escape this.
Right.
This is considered a norm within our society in America.
Yes.
It's extending to the entire world.
Yep.
Much as Africa or Liberia, I'm going to speak about Liberia a lot because I can read it as a Liberian, it's still slowly getting there. That doesn't mean that it hasn't been happening. It has been happening, but people just been hiding it or they don't want to talk about it. So that's why it hasn't been discussed before. But why should we shy away from having such a discussion that is so important? Why? Because our society is not up to date with it yet, but it's still happening, right? So I refuse, or we on this talk show refuse to wait for Liberians or for society to be ready to have this discussion. All right. So let's just talk about type of sexual identity, because sometimes people are a little confused. Heterosexual describe a partner of attraction to a person of opposite sex. That's a man and a woman doing whatever they have to do. A man and a woman, heterosexual. Bisexual describe a pattern of attraction towards both male and female, meaning I can like a man and I can like a woman too. Homosexual describe a pattern of attraction to other person of the same sex, meaning a woman can like another woman and man can like another man. Okay, so those are the three things, and that's where I would stop because this is typically what we see happening. All right, so then it comes back to this acronym LGBTQ. What does this mean? Why are we having this discussion about it? What is this about? What does this mean? I mean, a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's nobody talk about that in Liberia." What is LG? But is there? Okay, LGBTQ stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and there's a plus at the end, queer, or something questioning, meaning like you don't know what you want to be, and you don't identify either one of those acronyms. All right. So the acronym is used to represent a diverse range of sexualities and gender identities, referring to anyone who is transgender or the same or similar gender attraction. So sometimes people use that specific acronym for other reasons as well. Many Africans say that homosexual is un-African. We hear this a lot. I'm coming to our society now. We are often told that it's un-African to be gay. It's un-African to be bisexual. African culture is no stranger to the homosexual behaviors and act. homosexuality existed in Africa long before the continent was even colonized. Extensive evidence collected by studies done and other scholars show that same-sex practices and diverse sexualities can be found all over the continent predate colonization. So before we even became colonized, it was already there. They were already doing it. Okay, traditional African society did not see this as a stigma. Back then, this is what study have shown, that it wasn't an issue before, but now obviously it is. All right. There were no single example of traditional African belief system that single out same-sex relations as a sinful or link them to a concept, disease, or mental illness. Now, in our African society, this sexual behavior, homosexuality, is known as like a mental illness, or you have some kind of disease. And people are frowned upon if you identify as a homosexual. So, if this has been around for many years, as stated by this study, this is not only gearing towards Western world. They specify Africa. If this has been around for many years, why is it our society still view this as something new that is being introduced by the Western world? And why is it that we have not pretty much come to terms with it? So this is a group discussion now. Oh, come on.
I think because they are letting either religious beliefs 100% take over what their belief should be. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, that I'm not a Christian, I don't have my religious beliefs, but this is something that has been going on forever and ever. The difference is the reason why you probably feel like it's just now happening is because people were probably more afraid back then to come out because they were afraid of their lives. They were afraid to be hurt or killed or whatever. And now that it's become more of an open topic, like you said, in the Western world, now it has floated over there. So now people are more comfortable to come out. But I don't think it's something that is just coming over there. No, it's something that's been over there. The difference was that people were scared to come out because of them being afraid of what would happen to them.
Steve, before you say something, hi, Coach Charles. We love you on here. We miss you. We said we was going to invite you. You said you wanted to say something. No one has recognized me. We do recognize you. Please comment. We are reading everyone's comment as we go along. So please, Coach Charles, please comment. And everyone else that are commenting, please keep coming. We'll try to read your comments as we go along.
Yep.
All right. Sorry, Steve.
Steve, we're waiting for you to land. Come on, bro.
I remember when I started this conversation, I said, this thing, everything we do for the most part has to be done in the context of culture, especially culture, because culture, you know, incorporates whether that religion, ethnicity, and other things. And so I said it has to be done in the context of culture. Yes, I will have to agree that indeed this issue of whether that lesbianism, homosexuality, and so forth, yes, it has been in Liberia. We've heard talks of it. We didn't see it probably when we were growing up. We heard of people maybe that did it undercover. Yes, we did. And we have to be fair to ourselves. But the culture did not allow it. I remember when President Barack Obama went to Kenya, he was having a meeting with the Kenyan president there, and he wanted to introduce this. And the Kenyan president told him that this is not something we're bothered about. We're worried about food to eat and other stuff. Let me say this. Anything that you have to force on people, or you have to coerce them or threaten them for them to make it or not, that means something about that thing is not right. I'm saying it again. Something about that thing is not right. The reason why I personally, and our vast Liberian people do not even get into this, was if somebody want to practice that in their house, undercover, or they want to go tap behind the house and do it, that one of the business. But to not introduce it to our society, for it to become a norm, the reason I will say this is because the first thing is, it doesn't have a long-term benefit. There is no long-term benefit in it. No, there is no. I challenge anyone to bring me a long-term benefit. I've researched this thing over and over. The second thing about it is, it has an economic problem. It has an impact on the economy. It has impact on growth as well. It does. Recently, China increased, just most recently, increased the number of children people can have in the country because they started to have lapses into the generations, into people having children to be able to take over in the workforce and other places. That's what happened because previously they had this law that they passed in China where people couldn't have one child. People couldn't have one child. They increased it to 2. They saw the need to increase it to 3 because things are evolving, generations are going away, and so we need reproduction. Homosexual people do not get involved with reproduction. Let us not waste our time with it. The other component of it is this: for the women. Like I said earlier on, I support women's agenda. I do. And I feel sad and broken when I see women undermining women's agenda. I do. I do feel sad and broken. So for women's agenda, I would say they shouldn't support this. Let me tell you why. Who in a sound mind want to be in competition with a man to sleep with another man when that man could have been someone's husband, someone's father, someone's boyfriend, or someone's significant other? What sense does that make? How do you encourage somebody to come and undermine your agenda? How does that work? Somebody you want to get married. Maybe that man is supposed to be your husband. But that man, the one person that you're looking at to be your husband, that man is sleeping with that person. You're on competition with that person. Does that make any sense? So sometimes when we think about these things, we have to think about the long-term benefits. We have to think about how they impact generation, how they impact the country, what they do. It's not about, because in a Western culture, so I think we should be open to it, to welcome it. I say here, I stand with this. I don't support gay agendas in no way, shape, or form, and I don't think we should support it in our country. If they want to do it on their side, let them do it. Cool.
But let me say this. These are human beings that you're talking about, and you talk about what are the long-term benefits.
Yes, what are long-term benefits?
They can create relationship. They can raise children. That's a great impact in society.
Raise which children now? Raise which children? Someone's children that will raise. No. Someone's children that will raise. Someone's children that will raise.
An opportunity. I don't think we should look at this as being inhumane to have a sexual preference that don't have a benefit to society. So
there's no long-term benefits.
Are you trying to say as a man and woman or men and men together don't have any impact in society?
How do they benefit us?
Wow. So a doctor who is saving children's lives, a doctor who is doing heart transplant, a person who decides to give their kidney to someone else. A homosexual relationship. They are not.
No. Maybe you're trying to divert the conversation. I'm saying,
if you say in general about society, you have to think about those things.
Maybe you're blowing out of proportion. What does the homosexual relationship? Wait, now let me learn now. How does the homosexual relationship benefit us? Think about it. What a long-term benefit in a homosexual relationship? Are they going to create children to replicate our doctor? Are they going to do that? Tell me, are they going to do that?
So you're trying to say because they cannot create children, they have no effects on society?
There's no long-term benefit. There is no long-term benefit to keep on earth. Let me tell you why you are here. Let me tell you the purpose we're here.
So
you can disagree. That's fine. You can disagree.
Can I say something?
Rose, before another person comes in, I just want to read some comment before then we move on. Do you mind? Before I miss in the comment.
Go ahead. All
right. So Lord, Vanessa, help me with the comments because I'm going back.
All right, but you gotta tell me which page. We on 2 pages back and forth.
Let's just engage the audience before we start talking more. Charles E. King. Let's read Mr. Charles' comment. It is okay. I don't like we Africans say that is a foreign thing. No African has recognized it in African culture. Then to turn blind eyes to it is sad. Now I'm not taking anyone's opinion on it as my professional background does not allow me to voice my opinion, but safely of a person in my role. So that's Coach Charles talking. Seattle said, what you read, that's exactly what I was getting at. Hawabona, the same people that taught us this hate have long moved past it. Now they're watching us killed and persecute each other over it. But we're not contributing any. People are not contributing anything to society because they recognize they like men or men like men. But these men that like men are not contributing to society. I don't get that. But okay, Rose. Before we move on, you can go ahead, Rose. Yeah.
So hi Steve, and I'm like, I'm on the side, low side with Steve. This is very, like, what's the name said, we are not ready for this conversation. And that's the reason why LIB talks are having the conversation. But even though we are not ready, but it's happening. It's such a scary thing because we all have kids too. And for me, I would die. I mean, that would be something that I would not live with.
Wow.
When that
To say you would die.
what
You
happened.
said you would die.
You say you will go as far to say you would die.
Wow.
When I say I would die, I mean I'm not literally die, but I mean that would be something that I cannot live with.
My goodness.
Especially my only child. Coming from the society that we are coming from. This thing have been in Liberia for so many years, but it have not come out because why? We don't honor these kind of things. But now the new generation feel the need that, okay, we need to be public, but no, it's not there. We have never honored that before. We have like people from big places. They've been in this thing for many years, but they have never come out. But now you see one of the little ones, the modern kids, and you don't expect the older generation to accept it, especially in Africa. I don't have no hate for nobody. I love whatever you want to do with your life. But when it comes to social issue and it comes to me thinking about my kid learning something, I'm scared. I'm very particular. I'm like, oh my God, like this is not happening. Especially coming from a Christian background. Let's go religious right now.
Let's go.
This is
No.
something that
She said you will save it when you get there, but let me just interject.
Just to say, I'm with Steve. I know.
Well, how can you be with Steve? Steve just said that they are not contributing anything to society.
They're not, but I'm just saying to you,
you just said they're not. You just said they're not.
When I said they're not contributing, but listen now. When I say they're not I mean Steve saying it in a different way. But I'm just saying, it's like I think if we just decide to rally in Africa honor this thing, it's gonna get rampant. We need to put a little bit of limitation on it because this can go wild and it can affect anybody. And I know from a mother's stand that a lot of mothers, it kills them to see the kids turn into that. It's not a fun thing. It's not nothing that parents take for lightly, especially African parents. It can take people to the grave. So I'm telling you, I'm saying this today, that yes, it's here, we see it, we respect people, we respect their character, but in Africa, this is nothing that people, our parents, our grandparents will honor any day from now. It's not going to happen.
So let me ask the two of you this question, okay? So since y'all think this society, it shouldn't bring it out, they're not ready to discuss it, all of these things. So y'all prefer that these people stay undercover, right? They should stay undercover, don't bring it out, and then they are sleeping with women and lying to themselves and lying to women when they're in the back having sexual relationships with a man, or vice versa is happening the other way. What I can't understand from you guys is that wait.
Be honest.
Let me hear what I can't understand from Rosa said. She said, because Rosa, it almost sounds like you're a little bit contradicting yourself, because you can't say that you don't have an issue with people living their lives, they can do what they want to do, and then on the other hand you turn and you say, oh, I will die if that was your situation, and you wait. Let me land, and that you will be worried about your child learning it in school. If you so worried about your child learning it in school, sis, then I think you better homeschool your son, because they have them all up in the school, and you are referring to them. Just how I say them, You referring to them as them. You referring to them as he, she.
They
However,
have them, but
so
listen,
I,
Vanessa,
but no,
Vanessa, I don't
wait.
care.
Wait, but let me land. So what I'm saying is
Go ahead.
by you agreeing with Steve, then that means you 100% should stay on Steve's side and not say that, oh, but you're okay with them living their lives, because you are not. The fact of the matter is you are not.
I am okay. No. I'm okay.
You're not,
I'm okay
sis.
with them living
You're
their
not.
life. Listen,
You're
I'm
not.
okay with them living their life, but I'm not okay with it coming to my side of town. You understand that? I can
But
be
that's
okay with you
personal.
drinking your alcohol, but I don't want my child to be an alcoholic, and I don't want my child to learn that. That don't mean I'm not okay with you learning being an alcoholic. You can be whatever you want to be, but I'm not okay when it comes close to my door because I don't want it. I don't believe in it.
Let's give the chance to
respect the fact that you're doing it.
comments before I get to the next point.
So I don't even want to dive into the.
I'm not okay with that. You'll never be okay
So
with that. Never.
So I don't even want to dive into the religious component of this conversation. I don't want to dive into it. But just from a social standpoint, I would stay with the social standpoint. I want to clarify what I said, and I'll say what I said because I said it. I said the relationship has no long-term benefit in any way, shape, or form to society. In any way, let me tell you why. I'm mad. Okay, cool. Ask a question because we have something to say. Because I really want to get to the bottom of this.
I'm in disbelief that you.
And let me learn why I said what I said now. Let me make my case.
But Steve, when you're saying things too, you have to be mindful and be careful to clarify, because if you say in general that these people cannot contribute anything, then they will start listing all of these powerful people that are in powerful positions and doing wonderful things in society.
I said the relationship. You're making a mistake with the whole thing. So why you don't want to give me a chance? No, you don't want to give me a chance to say what I want to say. The relationship has no long-term benefit to society. It doesn't benefit. Let me tell you why. I will say it again. I'm not afraid to say it anywhere I go. I said it to my job. I've said it everywhere I go. As a matter of fact, I don't have hate against people who decide to be with other sexual people or whatever it is. But I stick to my point. The same way how you think you can choose to be a homosexual, whatever you want to be, that's fine, that's your choice. The same way I will take a position to as well. And you will have to respect my position. So I'm saying the reason why there's no long-term benefit is, what does most parents dream of? Most parents maybe in an African setting or so forth, most parents would dream of having the grandchildren, having the children reproduce, and so forth. So they can take care. Maybe that's the dream. My daughter, the parents, that's what they will look forward to, or so forth. Having reproduction so that the family can continue, so that lineage can continue. But no, you have to do that. This relationship does not offer that. But the first thing, it doesn't offer. It doesn't. Tell me when the last time 2 homosexual men had a child. Tell me when.
You can raise a child to be a.
Stop saying raise. How will you raise a child? Tell me, are you born there?
How about someone that's with a man, or how about someone that's within a man and woman relationship and they can't have a child and they have to raise somebody else's child? So that means they're not bringing nothing. I mean, they're not bringing nothing to society.
Listen now. That's a natural different situation. Wait now. That is a natural different situation that could be fixed. I am challenging you. Since you were born, tell me when last you saw 2 women have children. Tell me when you saw 2 men having children. We need to think about this thing a little deeper and trying to make it lower, because everybody accepting it, so it must be acceptable. It must be allowed. Here's another point again. Who wants to sit around and have a man running around with another man, chasing another man on a competition when that man could have been another woman's husband? What sense does that make? Think about it.
No, think about it. Everybody have their own.
No, we're not going to allow that. Our sister is single. Many of our women are single, and you want to take away from them? You want to take our men that are supposed to be men to supervise the children, help raise children, to take them to be homosexual and jumping around and misbehaving, acting like women, giving us a hard time? This is wrong, and that's where I stand.
Well, at the same time too, I don't want no undercover man either. Okay,
that's true.
So by y'all pushing that, y'all pushing them to be undercover, and then we'll come to us and be like, let's be in a relationship when they really When they're not looking at me, Steve, they're looking at you. They're not looking at me, they're looking at you.
It's not about what you want. And I'm saying that
It's not about what I want. It's about what's right to do. It's about what's right.
What is right in your sight is not right in the next man's sight. So what?
Okay,
So how? Let's
say this.
relationship.
When does someone
Exactly. Let's go to a relationship.
Because you
wait,
let's go to
when does someone's sexuality become right or wrong in people's eyes?
First of all, you are never born. You don't choose your sexuality. You were born like that. Don't choose your sexuality. You were born like that. First of all, you don't choose your sexuality. You were born like that. But people decide to choose their sexuality, they're born against norm. So let's get that clear. Nobody chooses their sexuality. I didn't choose to be born a man. I was born a man. And I was still a man. So when I confuse myself, it doesn't have to be imposed on other people.
You said
I was Steve, I was say this to you. I was say this to Howard and Vanessa. Nobody saying nobody shouldn't live their life. That's not what we're saying.
Exactly what
we
you're
are
saying.
That's what you're saying.
That's not what we're saying. We are
you're saying
that's
that.
not what we are saying.
That.
We are
I gotta read the comments,
Rochelle. Everybody was born to be a woman and to be a man. That's what we know. That's what was brought up as. But now we come as grown up, we see something else. People have changed to something else. You're not gonna allow me, you're not gonna tell me as a person after I have learned all my life that is abomination, and then all of a sudden you telling me now, it's okay. But
what is abomination about?
Let me learn. In the church, we have learned that it's abomination.
I want to get there.
No. Let me learn. Because that's why I get my learning factor from. That's what I get my learning factor from the church. The church taught me it's an abomination. So I've learned that.
The church also taught you it was an abomination to have sex prior to marriage, but we do it.
You're telling me.
But we do it. But we do it.
But wait,
we do it.
I want to focus on people's comment, and then I want to
put something across. I want to put something across before you come in, Howard. So it is an abomination as I was taught as a child. Yes, it is. But I'm in a country that people like that, and I have to respect them because the fact is you have to respect people. But as a woman, as a mother, I'll pray every day. It do not come to my doorstep. I rebuke it every day that I wake up in the morning because I have only one child, and God forbid, I would be something that would not even sit right with me. I would not live right for the rest of my life. So
so how before you respond to that, let me read some of these comments. So it says, if you are a Christian, you should never be backing such evil acts, period. Somebody also, I think they were responding about by adoption, and then somebody said, look at how I enjoying Steve. Somebody said, Steve sound like a real African man. You still live in Africa. And then who's that? Yeah, Katie said that. And then Patience said, we all accept it until it happened in our family. Period. And then Florence Berg said, good point, Moses. I love you for that, Moses. God loves you, Moses. And Patience said, we all will not agree. And Octavia said, let's look at the benefits here. There are considerable mental health and well-being benefits conferred on those in fortunate positions of being able to marry legally. And there are associated deleterious impacts of being denied this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone said, TJ Payne says, Steve is missing the bigger picture, bro. What is your definition of right or wrong? Because it seems like you have it all figured out.
All right. So before we keep going, let's I know I posed the question, we began talking, but let me just read some things that I found too. I mean, it's out there. And we're having this discussion now, and it seems like majority of these people are pretty much proving what this study said. It has been established that an African continent is a difficult place for homosexualities, for you to identify anything but heterosexual. In April of 2019, Zambia sentenced 2 men to 15 years in prison for having consensual sex in the privacy of their hotel room. I'm just going to list some things that have happened based on the fact that we don't accept this. In late November, Uganda police rounded up about 125 people in a gay-friendly bar in the capital, and dozens of them face charges to this day. Just a few days ago in Liberia, like we stated, a 19-year-old Nacho Michael, a student at the Trinity United Methodist High School, was expelled after a video went viral showing him donning makeup and wig and having a change with a lady. Now, we know that based on what they're saying is evidence, because we're currently having this discussion that this issue is still a problem. So why is Africa such a difficult place for why is it that we know that it's around, we talk about it now, but we're saying that it's not right for us for it to be around? It needs to stop. Who are we to say that a man and a man cannot be together? Before we get into the biblical reason why many people believe, because this is where most beliefs come from, is based on what the thing that the Bible said about a man and a woman. I said think, because everyone interprets what the Bible says differently. So based on what they have read, how they are interpreted it, this is where these beliefs are coming from, as far as this is not right. So
yeah, can I chip in something quick? I just want to chip in something quick from a professional standpoint, because what you read just now makes a lot of sense. But I want to bring something to our attention. Before 1975, homosexuality was in the DSM-5, what we use for diagnosis, or the American Psychological Association, the APA. Before 1975, it was in the DSM-5 as a mental retardation. So when you are homosexual, you are considered mentally retarded. That's what it means. Now, most recently, the APA has done something very strange that we're not paying attention to. They have taken pedophilia out of there too as well. Now, pedophilia means men sleeping with small children, small boys. They have taken it from there. What that tells me is before they could legalize homosexuality, they took it from there as well in the DSM-5. Now they have taken it, they're taking pedophilia from there. What that informs me is pedophilia is the next agenda they're going to push and say it's normal. That's all I wanted to say. So let's think about it. Thank you.
Let's Steve. Steve.
Let me.
Yes, it has been taken. It was known to be, but now it's not, because society did what? They adapted to the reality that it exists.
So let me tell you why they took it out.
So everything society adapted is right.
Let me tell you why they took it out.
But when it comes to this topic, y'all will always pull the Bible. Always say, let me land. Y'all will always pull the Bible. Y'all will always say the Bible say this, the Bible say that. But let me dare talk about this.
I'm surprised that our relation, is not speaking. Relation, is our relation.
Yeah, and I'm surprised. I have an issue with it. I'm surprised you have an issue with it. I'm surprised free spirited have an issue with it.
That this is wrong. I know you.
Let me address what Rose just said. Let me address what Rose just said. What you will not do, what you will not do is come from my personal character.
No, I'm not from my personal character. I'm just saying to you, I'm surprised. I'm very surprised.
My Christianity. You talk about me being a Christian.
I'm surprised.
You have not for the first stone. I'm entitled to believe what I believe. But here's the thing. I'm not finished. Here's what I'm not going to do.
Everything else you are Christian about it, but today
it's not about being Christian about anything. It's not about being Christian about anything. Yeah. I'm reading. Let me say this. I'm reading what the study shows, and I'm giving my opinion based on what is. Wait. I'm giving my opinion based on what Steve commented, based on the fact that Steve said it does not contribute. It does not contribute to society. I'm basing the fact that he stated that it does not contribute to society. Not
I'm
once
ready
that
to go to the relation part. I'm ready to go to the relation part because I want to hear from you.
You keep my character that you're surprised. You keep my character that you're surprised. You keep my character that you're surprised. I want to hear
from when we come to the church part. I want to hear from you. What you feel about that as a church woman?
But you didn't give me the chance. Here's my thing. You have not given me the chance to speak on it, and I don't appreciate you putting my character based on the fact that I'm reading what study has shown.
I'm just saying, as a Christian, I'm saying as you.
That's where the issue comes from. That's where the issue.
That's where the issue comes from here.
Matters. I've been talking about as a Christian,
all right,
and everybody was so different. But now
that's what the issue is. But let me go back to the Christian portion.
I want to hear.
all right, guys. Let's take Rose. You guys, we got the phone lines open. If we want to take at least about a couple minutes and take some phone calls, I got the phone lines open and ready just in case you're ready to take some phone calls. All right.
Give us about 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Ready? The number is 919-324-6828. Again.
I'll pin it to the bottom. I'll pin it to the bottom of the chat. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
I'll get back to it. That's where the issue comes from. The issue comes from people believing that based on their personal beliefs that everyone else has to be on the same page because they have read and interpreted the Bible to their own standards. And that is not, this is why we keep having this problem in our society. It's because that we keep enforcing our beliefs on everyone else. The thing is that wrong for people to engage in such an act. You are entitled to that. What you will not say that people don't.
You say our own standards.
So I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna say that before I move on, because that's where the issue comes from.
But Rose, not everybody has the same. Not everybody has the same religion as you. Not everybody has the same beliefs as you. Not everybody has the same beliefs as you.
Roger, if you read a passage, let me say this: if you read a passage, the way you are interpreted based on your current situation or your current mindset is different than how I would interpret it. I hope you know that.
So how do you, so my question to you now on the platform, how do you interpret what God, how do you interpret what God made man and woman and put man and woman in the garden? How do you interpret as a Christian?
I hope you understand that. Okay.
How do you interpret that as a Christian?
All right, so I'm gonna get to the Christian.
Why you not answering the question?
Because we're not in Bible study. We get it on point.
Right now. When I Bible study,
how do you interpret that? I want to know how you interpret that. When God created man and woman in the garden, how do you interpret that as a creature?
God created all creatures.
We interpret that.
God created all creatures. He created all creatures.
And when you said, I made women and men, a woman and man to produce. So you interpret it as God said, okay, since I made men and women, so now and another scripture said, okay, men and women
that's part of why you was made to procreate. That's part of why you was made to procreate. There are some people that don't have that ability to procreate. Does that make them less than a woman?
Oh. Ladies, let's move on. Let's move on and let's learn and let's try not to talk over one another. Let the other person land. Okay?
We have different.
Says yes, we do. Yes, we do. We 100% do. So what does the Bible says about the attraction to someone else? Many believe that the rejection of this group stems from the biblical belief that sexual relations should only be between a man and a woman. Any act beyond this is considered an evil act. Africans are among the world's most religious people. Muslims and Christians leaders often opposed to gay sex. Studies have shown that African media often quote religious officials when discussing homosexuality.
So can I ask you something, please, Hawa?
Yeah.
And I don't intend to make this, like I said before, I don't want to even incorporate the religious component of this. To be honest with all of us, this issue of homosexuality, it started a long time ago.
I said it
in biblical times. Now, even in biblical times. Now here is the issue, though. Here is the issue now. Here is the issue. Does that make it right? Even if it was a long time ago. You see, it's not an issue about right or wrong. But here's the thing now. You see, it's about something that I said that maybe when everybody getting mad and thinking that maybe I say homosexuality. They're not good people. They're not like this. I said, I was staying with this. There is no long-term benefit in that relationship. And I want to challenge anybody to show me the long-term benefit in that relationship. And maybe it will inform my decision. As of now, because I can benefit from great children inside. I can get children inside. It can increase, it can population growth, nothing. I think that now.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing you keep basing it on about someone not having kids. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
This is what we live for.
That's the
What do you live for? You want to get married? You want to marry? I got married.
Same God that created a woman to produce have also made that some women do not have that ability to produce.
So that means they don't contribute to society.
It's not a choice. It can be fixed. It's not.
No, it cannot. Not always. Not always. Not always.
In most cases. In most cases.
When you can't born, you don't contribute to society. Let me read a comment. Let me read a comment. Norman Walker said, I wish some of those folks were as passionate about fighting corruption and plunder in Africa, in Liberia, as they are about telling others how to live. And then Peter Pellman said, no, y'all not. People, Peter Pellman said, it's a lot of family members and friends that are in the closet that we don't know about. Let us not be fast to judge. And then someone, Alfonso Nuplu said, this question is going to Hawa and Vanessa. Why God distorted the first world?
Exactly. Because homosexuality started, and God was, listen, like I said, I don't want to go into the biblical issue here. I want to keep it on an intellectual level because all of us might have different faith. I don't want us to demonize.
Steve, what did you say?
All of them might have different faith or different belief system. That is okay. Nothing wrong with it.
Guys.
So do you believe that there's people that are gay and homosexual or whatever have different beliefs and different faith and they're just living their lives?
Quickly, guys. The phone lines are open and we got callers on the line, please.
Okay,
let's take our caller. Let's take the first caller here. Caller from 810, last 4 is 7089. Give us your name and where you're calling us from. Let me know if you're hearing them. Hello, caller.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Your name and where you calling from.
Yeah, my first name is Octavius. My last name is Gilman.
All right. Go ahead. What's your contribution?
Yeah, I mean, let me say thanks to Hawa and Steve, MV, and there were, I mean, I stated my first comment that this topic is very interesting, but Liberians are now ready for it at this moment. And when we discuss these things, we should first of all take our religion beliefs from out of it, because it will be difficult for people like Rose, and more especially Steve, to put religion belief or faith in religion on this particular topic, because there's no way in the Bible I say I should have sex with a woman who has. Let's get established that, but we're doing it. There's no way in the Bible says I should get head. No. But we're doing it. There's no way in the Bible says that a woman should hire a horse. But people do it. There's no way in the Bible.
What did Octavia say? He's not very clear. I'm not hearing him. What did he say?
Go ahead, Octavius. I'm not going to keep people to go back and forth on the line. Just go make your point and now let you go. Gilman.
Yeah. So we're going to discuss
the lines. I got already 10 callers on the line already. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we're going to discuss this issue. It's very important that we do that. Let us discuss it from our personal belief system. So look, based on how I feel, like me, I'm a Republican, and I against gay rights, I against abortion, I against welfare, but I cannot deny other people how I cannot choose for them how they should live their life. I cannot do that. So the best thing I would say, don't tell me to gay, and I'm not even going to discuss it. Because I'm not going to say their life is better than my life. Because if I can have sex with a woman in her eyes, Why about another man? And it's a great show. And I got more to say, but I was taking my time. I'll give time to other people. But
thank you, Gilman. Thank you, Gilman. Thank you. All right, let's go to our next caller here. 410 last 4 is 4482. Caller, give us your name and where you calling us from.
Yeah, this is Aliyu Lofa. How you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good. Welcome to the show, Aliyu. What's your input?
Yeah. You know, it's a great show, and I think it worth discussing. But I don't know if it's the Howard is being so passionate about the whole gay thing. I don't want you to be misconstrued when you present yourself as being so passionate about it. If I were to propose to you now and say, look, I want the girls on
LIB Talk.
You got across Africa to promote polygamy. All of y'all that will cost me.
No, we won't.
You understand?
No, we won't. No, we won't.
So
no, we won't.
When hold on, don't get too excited. It's okay. You know, so what I'm trying to say in other words,
Rose, you're interrupting the man. You got a lot of callers coming through here, though. Go ahead.
It is okay for people to do what they want to do, but I'm heterosexual. I do not have sex in the streets. I do not have to take off my pants to show that I got on drawers.
Yeah.
But the other people want people to see them. They have to do an exhibit. Two guys want to be kissing on a car roll and all of these things. I know you brought a lot of historical component to support the reason why you think homosexuality should spread in Africa. Let's just do a give and take here. If I were to go right now on SNBC and say, I'm a polygamist, and I want people to support me in America to be a polygamist. First thing foremost, the people, not even the government, because the government will always give me my right. The people themselves will probably stone me to death. Why do you guys think that whatever works here, whatever is good here, that it has to be good in your society? Why must you change just because you travel somewhere for greener pasture? You have to be who you are, and nothing against homosexuals. I'm saying nothing against it, but that's the white man's thing. And not to say it wasn't in Africa, but if somebody said it was in Africa, but it was private. Back in the days when we were small, we used to notice it because something called no bully that telling me do it in another place. So we used to hear that there were boys doing it, but because it was never accepted by society, it was always hidden. If I can have sex with my door closed and the curtain closed and the lights off, let the gay man do the same. You do not have to exhibit. So you guys, thank you so much for having me, Lofa. Thank you.
Thank you, Aliyu. Let's go to our next caller. Caller from 682.
One more caller, and then we'll have to discuss.
Okay, well, you got 4 other callers on the line. You're not gonna leave them on the line, right?
How I just let them be.
Caller from 682 last 4 is 7069. Your name and where you calling from, please.
Hi, my name is Dr. Positive. I want to thank you guys on LIB Talk for such a great topic, and I like to look at the positive side of things. I'm actually not against homosexuality. If we decide to accept homosexuality, like I said in my comment, and Octavius was just on to he and I have this conversation, let's accept polygamy too. If we Africans are pushing to accept polygamy in homosexuality in Africa, let's first accept what our grandparents accepted, which is polygamy. And I'll tell you the reason why, not just because I want to have sex with multiple women, but the economic benefit for polygamy is far more exceeds anything that we can do homosexuality-wise. I will tell you why. You have women that work, you have men that work. If those people partner together and have a household, they can produce more for the economy, they can help the economy to do better, and our society will be better, and you will have children that will be raised in a household with both parents in a way. People can plan to grow, to create wealth in that household, and society will be better off. If we do accept homosexuality, let's also accept polygamy, because That's what our grandparents, like the other caller said, that's what our grandparents, our forefathers accepted. And like I said, if you add the economic benefit of polygamy to what it will do for our countries, what it will do for society, I think it will be better for us also. I hope you guys have the chance to bring the talk on here for polygamy as well. I will listen to you guys. Thank you for the show. Keep up the good work.
What is his name? Don't forget him. We did. Please go back on our YouTube page.
Let's go to the next caller. 917 last four is 7688. Caller, your name and where you calling us from. And I'm not taking any more call, please, folks. Last two callers. Caller from 917. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Otto.
Sis Corto, I'm sorry. Before you let me just say this. I am not stating out anybody's phone number on here. I state the first and the last. That is not anybody's phone number. So listen, the first three and the last four, because some people from the same area code. So I don't have two people speaking at once. I state the first three and the last four. So that is not anybody's phone number. So if you have anybody who can determine the first three and the last four and then the middle number, then I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sis Corto.
Yeah, I want to thank my ladies out there, and also thank Steve and Lofa there with you guys. This topic is kind of a topic that a lot of people do not feel comfortable with, and the reason why people do not feel comfortable with discussing this issue because it's just not acceptable. That's why you see a lot of people frowning at this, and the reality is it is just not acceptable. There are a lot of things that we do that are not acceptable. We do it, to please ourselves. And this is one of the things that people do just to please themselves. That it's not acceptable. So I have problems with, and I don't have problems practicing the behavior or the attitude or whatever things that they want to practice. But my problem with it is that if you try to exhibit it, you know that it is not society, and you try to exhibit it in the place where you have kids, you have youth, society, group people like the church or even in school. I have serious problems with that because those are not things that people exhibit in school with other children going to practice. It's not a unique society. And like you said, what economic or social benefits that they have? Actually, no benefits. So if people want to practice it, let them get practice about themselves. It's not it. So because you can't take somebody's benefit and want to make it take it as a benefit of you, you are a homosexual. They are a homosexual person, so that's somebody's child. Because so that's exactly. No matter if you want to take food, if you talk about the element, not a job. Even children. So to get in that pressure, it's not acceptable. Can't live your life. That's what everybody is asking because that's the lesson kids.
Thank you.
And that's it. Leave it. And live that after that you create for me. And that's what I have a problem. And you know that the reason why I want to focus on Latino is we are denying our culture and just accepting other people's culture. In Latino we have a unique culture. We have your culture does not have education.
Okay.
It will be used as a form of education that we can make popular into practice. But yet we didn't know all of these things. We don't even talk about it as well as we do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sis Court.
Let's try to put a new topic and let's talk about our society in Liberia. Let's promote our society.
But this is happening in our society.
Well, this is happening in our society.
By working on daily application for today, that our children cannot even speak our daily dialect.
Thank you.
I try many days because I speak my dialect and I enjoy speaking it, and this I think that we should actually be teaching our children.
Thank you, Sis Culture. Thank you. Let's. Thank you. All right, let's bring the next caller here. Caller from 614, last four is 7493. Caller, your name and where you calling us from. Caller from 614, last four is 7493. Okay, that caller we probably lost. Last caller from 614. Last four is 7493. All right, guys, you can go back. I think we lost that caller finally. I will shut the phone lines off and you can get back to your conversation.
All right. So before people feel like we are dismissing their call, we are not. We just want a conversation to keep going because it seems like all of us only have a lot to say about it as well. And we want to have a chance to respond to the callers, everyone who called. And so I guess I'll give someone else the opportunity. But let me just say this. I'm doing the research. I'm the one who had in the topic. Vanessa is moderating. Our points, our views, everything that I'm reading has been researched. I'm reading based on what I've researched. Don't come for my personal life. Don't come for my husband. I'm a married woman, happily married to a man. Okay. But what I will not do is tell someone who like another sex that you don't contribute to society. That's what I will not do. Or judge people who do, because they say you would no sin throw the first stone. Okay, the Bible believing people are out there doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Sleeping with little children, raping, molesting. These are things that they are doing out there. But they're not paying attention to those things.
And African society sit there and push that for older men to be loving to younger women, but that's not an issue. That's not an issue though.
But y'all deal with it.
Yeah, okay. No, Steve, we're not done yet. Don't. We're ready.
Don't come
No,
see.
We're ready.
I did research. I want to present to you about Liberia. Just one
No,
minute.
before you present the whole country, let me say this. So you guys have your opinions, and you might think that me and Hawa are promoting the wrong thing, and we're not following our religion. And just how Hawa said, we are both strong, young, educated women, and we are married. We are married, and we have our husbands. But I agree with Hawa. I would not push that on anybody to tell somebody what they should and shouldn't be. Number one. Number two, if you have not personally have someone that is close to you, which is in your family, for you to experience that, then when you experience that, then I want to hear what your conversation will be, whether you will tell your sister, whether you will tell your brother, whether you will I understand all of y'all saying that, with your child, you don't want that to be your child's situation. I'm not saying you should push that on your child. I'm not saying that you should want that. But if you have a relative that comes to you, has come out and said this is what they have chosen to be, this is their lifestyle that they want, this is who they are, will you then tell that person that you no longer care for that person, you no longer love that person, you will stay away from that person? Why? Because this is the way that they chose to live their life. Well, let me tell you how I is coming at y'all from research. I am coming at y'all from experience. I have no. Let me land, sis. Let me land. I have my no. Let me land. No. Let me land. I have my no. I'll keep talking. I have a sibling. I have a sibling. And that is her choice. And I will never look at my sibling and tell my sibling that I no longer love that person, or I no longer want to be bothered with that person, because that's the life that they have chosen, or that's the life, or that's their path. So I think sometimes when some of you say this and say, oh, we're looking at this way, we're looking at that way, yeah, because it hasn't come to your front door. It hasn't officially affected you. So you will talk and say what you want to say and be judgmental and do what you want to do, because why? It haven't personally affected you.
So let me learn that. Vanessa and Hawa.
And Vanessa, I have your personal too.
Vanessa and Hawa. Just like you have people in your family like that, we both have men, I believe.
And I would say not like that. That's their lifestyle. Don't say like that. Don't say like that. Don't say like that.
Dealing with it.
Don't say like that.
Hawa. Like I said, just like you have people in your family like that, I do have people in my family the same. But again, like I said,
but don't seem like it the way you're being all hateful.
Because you being all hateful. You come being hateful, sis.
Yes, personally.
Understand? Just how you feel like you have someone within your family the same, I have the same thing in my family. But you know what? Like I said, my sin is my sin. If you like that, I respect you. Nobody said you should tell your family that you don't love them. Nobody said Steve didn't say that. Nobody said that on this platform.
He's insinuating it. He doesn't
nobody
You don't have to say it. You have to think about. You have to think about how you come across. Just the same way how you just said, "Oh, I will die. I will die if somebody, if my child, I will die."
Let me talk.
That sounds right.
I said when my son, and I
will
say
die.
Again,
I will die.
Vanessa, you still interrupted me when you was talking. You said I should learn.
You interrupted me, sis. So interrupt you. Yes. Now how we do it?
Let me learn. Like I said, and I will say again. I will say again. If my son come to me, I will die, and I will not take that back from nowhere. And again, like I said, just like you and your family have something, I have people like that in my family. But you know what? I respect them. I love them. But again, I will stand by what I was brought up, my foundation. It's never going to change. I don't care what part of the world I go, where I see myself, where in position I see myself, it's never going to change. So nobody said they hate anybody like that. So I don't want you to put that message across to anybody.
Let me put a message there like you said, I will die. I will die.
I said my son. And I have that responsibility for my child.
I want to get
I would say that's my son.
Talking biblical.
Can I say something?
I said my son, and I would say that on this platform about my child.
You're entitled to that.
I would say that to my child. If you don't say about your child, that is your business. But my child, I will die. And again, I love everybody for who they are, what they decide to do. But again, when it comes to my child, I dislike it, and I would never make it to happen like that for my child.
Okay, that's fine. That's your child. You don't want to say something. Nobody arguing about that one.
Let me say something.
Somebody hit somebody. We don't hit nobody like that.
Let me say something.
Not what y'all interpreting.
Let me say
not
something.
What y'all interpreting.
Let's get serious.
Not what y'all interpreting.
That's not what we interpret.
Not what y'all interpreting. And I said what I said.
I want Steve to say what he has to say because I really want to respond to James K. Brown.
What I said.
So let me say this. Let me say this.
That's great.
Let me say this to you guys. Let me say this. I've made a public service announcement to my family members. If you choose that lifestyle, before I read what I want to read, if you choose that lifestyle, I will never support you in it. It's not my responsibility. That's what you chose. So it's not about hate. It's not about hate. But I don't have to identify with that. I don't have to support that lifestyle. No, I don't. If you choose not to support me because I want to be a heterosexual, that's cool. I respect that. But we can't make that as a mandate that some people speak something that they're not in line with. Then people say you hate them, or you don't like this group, or you don't like them. It's not about like or hate. It's just that people are not comfortable with that lifestyle. And we should respect people too for that too as well. But here's what I want to read about what law in Liberia. It's very short. Let me read.
Before you read that, Steve, I want you to read it, but before you read that,
yeah, ma'am.
Before you read that, you said what you said, and Rose said she's with you. And Rose said she support anybody, but she's questioning people being Christian or being believers because of their choices. If we live our lives questioning everything that people do, then you are not a Christian because you didn't get married, you had your son. We can name things that you didn't do that was not in the Bible. Then you're not Christian. So I said that to say that that's where some of us are coming from when you start to question the fact that you say you are Christian and everything else, but in this you said that people have a choice. I believe that guys are found a judge. Christian as
not
I
you,
am,
not me, not Steve, not Rose.
I'm Christian as I am. We all commit sins that are not. God don't look at your sin and say, "Oh, the other sin is bigger than that other sin." You have done things that God don't agree with. Okay, so you can't tell somebody say because of your choice you are not a Christian or you don't know your culture. You can't say that. You can't say that. That's the problem. But go ahead.
So can I read this thing, please?
Nobody told you you're not a Christian, and nobody said nobody not a Christian.
My Christianity.
No, I did not. I said. I did not say you're not a Christian. You didn't say one thing. You don't said nothing wrong with this. You said it's
I told you that nothing was wrong with it. That is your problem.
Okay.
Assumption.
I'm surprised that we know as Africans from different churches that there was taught that it's wrong. But you haven't said one word today. That's what I said. And I was saying, but other things you want to be on the Christian thing. You want to be on the other things with Christian thing, but they didn't want to be on it with Christian things.
So guys, let me get quick, Howard, if I can just jump in here real quick. Hawaii, if I could just jump in here real quick. I think since we have Steve on here and he's your guest tonight, can we just kind of go back a little bit, please?
Go ahead, Steve,
And that way we could get you guys. We got a lot of comments on here that need to be taken into consideration. Please.
Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, Steve.
Go ahead, Steve.
So because this whole thing is in context with our country, Liberia, not necessarily the United States. So I just want to read what our law says. So there's this law in our country. It's under the penal law of Liberia where it criminalizes people. So in section 14.74, this is what it states: voluntary sodomy, person who engages in deviant sexual intercourse under circumstances not stated in section 14.72, relating to aggravated involuntary, or 14.73, relating to involuntary sodomy, has committed a first degree misdemeanor. So in short, when you engage into that act, you are committed crime in our country. So that means in our country constitutionally, we not agree with it. It's simple. We not agree with it. So when I brought him out in that video, and he was bouncing around like a woman, the school is a private school and reserve the right to let him go. We shouldn't be making noise about it. And then if I let him go to public school,
grams.
Like, it doesn't matter. That alone.
Wait, can I say he was not engaged in sexual acts?
I agree. I agree with 100% with the school law.
He was not engaged in sexual acts. He put up a mirror that he could turn around today and wipe it off with no issue, and you would not even know he's a gay.
I agree.
Whatever. So why expel him?
By the private school, private school, you have choice to go to any other school. And then if you go register somewhere else, the people don't accept that lifestyle. In our Christian school, you need that.
I agree with you. Private schools has their rules and regulations, and they want you to follow it. But what I'm saying that Rose made a common example when she started talking about introducing sexual act to children on the school ground. It's wrong. Obviously, is if you're going to do stuff in the privacy of your home, that's you. That's your choice. But if you bring it outside, you allow people now to judge you and talk about it and do whatever they want to do, right? But this act did not occur in school. That's one.
Two.
It did not, did it?
Yeah, but does the school
an explicit sexual act?
Does the school reserve the right, because they are private school, to determine if they can let him go or not?
So does your job reserve the right to fire you if they see that you're doing something that they don't agree with on your personal time? On your personal time. No, you wouldn't do that.
It will be the policy. What can I say?
On your personal time? No. On your personal time?
Listen. Let me say this. Let me say this to all of us. We can push it however we want. But I will say this to you. Some institutions, when you are part of them and you misrepresent them, whether that personal time, private time, in-home time, out-of-home time, once you do it in public, that's when they're not doing it to us. You did it in public. The school interpret it as misrepresentation and reserve the right to let him go. The thing we can have no man to do, let him go to a school that accommodate that lifestyle or that behavior. Simple.
And I'm sure he will.
Oh, no, why? Our country don't allow that. So when you go to do that, they can arrest you.
Because that's
what law said.
The people who wrote that are gays. The same people who wrote that law.
Yeah.
Sexual.
I can do it. The gay way. You see them drink gay act. You see it. You said that's what the law said. Let me say.
Okay. What you don't see, you don't talk about.
You know what the law said?
What you don't see, you don't talk about. Because the same people who put those regulations in place, they're the same people loving the little girls, molesting little children, raping children. But it's okay because
they're not gay. But anyway, Howard, let me read these comments.
Let's bring that to the law.
Lyrical Godchild said, "No, Vanessa, I won't hate the person or reject them, but I will tell them the truth. I will tell them that that's not the right lifestyle nor the right way, because it's not of God, and will lead them into destruction, and try to help them to lead them to God." Octavius says, Dupree Haja, do you know if that man you are calling, if that man you are calling beautiful? Oh, also because somebody call me beautiful, they're asking about men and they call me beautiful. You know what? I don't laugh. I'm mad today. All right. What somebody said? Charles King said, one must be very, very careful about what we say. God moves in many ways. And Pious Dobson, I think they're talking about Rose saying that she's clearing it up. Louis Successful, Panko Willie say, even my child do that, they will never be my child.
My God.
And Ida, Michael said, wow, so sad. I pray for your child. And Evangeline Tar says, so if a person is a killer, that means I should support them. And then Marvina Grant said, yes, God is the final judge.
Thank you.
And Kimbella Wilson said, at the end of the day, God will judge.
Yep. That's it. But Steve, I'm glad you read your country's laws or whatever it is that
our country.
They're not even abiding by it. Okay, they wrote those laws into act. They're not even following it, because if they were following it, many rapists today that are in the government out there writing those laws, they will be in jail. Many child molesters will be in jail if they were already following those things that they wrote down. Okay, Steve. So our country, we have a long way to go. This right here. I will say this right now.
I like the post. Can we read that post? Because it makes more sense. It's in concurrence to what I said earlier.
What I said, my future husband better like women only, because me and no man will be fighting for my parents.
But patient, he may like women and he may like the man and be hiding it from you. How do you know? Don't you want to know if he's out there doing that?
And that's why I said, don't set yourself up for failure as women. Don't undermine your agenda. Stop promoting these things. Stop promoting these guys who want to be like you. They're only going to undermine your interests because they want what you want. And you'll be in competition evidently. So to save yourself from that, save your children, that the Alan said, behave like a man because you can be my daughter's husband, you can be my dad's future husband.
But not everybody is meant to be your daughter's husband. Not all men are meant to be somebody's husband.
But at least let them be somebody else and they can order. Why don't be husband? Let them be men.
Or let them be somebody waste of time. Now, what are you saying? Wasting somebody's time.
Anyway, so I want to keep going, but it seems like it's almost 9 o'clock. We're loving the conversation. I don't know, ladies. What do you guys think? Should we just finish up the conversation on here and save our G's for next week?
All I know is Octavia said, "Now use all your data for their one conversation today."
And I know Rose still have some things to express too. So, what do you guys think? Finish up the conversation. It's 9 o'clock, so I think we should just finish up this conversation.
Let's finish up the conversation.
I said finish it up, please.
Finish it.
Okay. So, do we have any calls? Anyone else want to say anything else? Because we realized that this conversation, as stated in a comment earlier, is very, very diverse. As much as it seems as though that a lot of people are against LGBTQ or whatever they call themselves, as you guys call them, but it also seems like a lot of people know that it's a choice. Every decision that we make in life is a choice, and we want to go ahead and read some of the biblical things that are formed. As far as why is it that a lot of Christians look at this as being bad or is unacceptable? Because it seemed like it goes right back to the conversation is based on how we have to interpret what we've read. That's what it seemed like it goes back to. So I don't want to read it because then we'll be here for another hour talking about what does the Bible say and how do we interpret what the Bible say about being gay or lesbian. But what I will say is this: it's a choice. And where we are now in society, I'm not talking about this Western world. I'm talking about the whole world as a whole. There are some things that are happening, changes that are happening. People making decisions. Life is going on. We cannot keep this mindset like everything's going to be the same like it always has been. You can believe what you believe for your own individual reasons, but you cannot impose those beliefs on other people. People have to be able to make their own decisions that is not harmful to other people. That is very important. I started this conversation by reading Barack Obama's quote about people are not committing crimes. They're not being harmful to other people. Why is it that we are looking upon them as being like this evil person? If this is just they're just living out their choices. I think it's a choice. And I think that we are all entitled to make a choice. And I think it's only fair that we understand that every decision that we make is a choice for each of us individually. Okay? So I think that we and we need to start by retelling our history, remembering like people keep talking about their children. If you raise your child and you install your culture, your beliefs in your child will go ahead and make whatever decision that child believes is his or her own. You can tell that child everything you want to tell that child, but what your culture beliefs are. But at the end of the day, that child is going to make his or her own decisions. I'm sure we are all aware of that. So it's something that we have to remember. If being gay or being bisexual, or whatever sexual orientation you find yourself, if it's a choice by you as a parent, I'm raising 2 children. I pray that they make the right decision based on what I've taught them. Okay. Now, if they grow up and make their own decision, I'm not gonna die. I got my life to live. I got to answer to God. So they are too. They have to answer to God in the end. I think that this is a decision that they have to make for themselves. I'm sorry, Lufa, go ahead.
I have people asking me to open up the phone lines. Do you guys want me to open up the phone line? Do you want me to open up the phone line?
I would suggest something to the team that normally runs the show. That maybe because of time we can have a part 2 where we incorporate the religious aspect, because it seems like we must have a balance. Because when we incorporate the religious aspect, then maybe some of us will think our mindset to understand what's going on from a religious standpoint. That's my suggestion.
I care how you go up and come down, Steve, and I change our mind.
Changing the mindset. Changing the mindset.
You know what? You know what? That's right. Let me open up the phone line. So SB Don Wallace from Canada, don't start walking over here all the way to North Carolina to like do something to me. So let me open up the phone line. 919-324-6828 is the number to call in, folks.
Religious aspect.
919-324-6828 is the number to call in. The lines are open. 919-324-6828. Again, the number to call in is 919-324-6828. Folks, you're listening to LIB Talks on the Cross Africa Network. Let's take our first caller. Whoa. All right, caller, your name and where you calling us from, please. Oh, wow. Everybody calling that once. Caller, hold on one second. Caller from 437. Go ahead. SB, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm here laughing, man. You're killing me.
Hey,
I just want to say thank you to all of you guys for such a very sensitive, but a conversation that needs to be held. And you guys have all made great points, including some of the callers that called in earlier. And I'm going to start with my brother Moses, and he said a lot on the topic. From a religious standpoint, I'm a Christian. Just as you, Moses, I was raised by my mother, my sister. My dad was always present, but he was a working class man, so he was always out there working, doing his thing. But I grew up in Mother Dupley Church. Everybody knew Mother Dupley Church as Faith Temple. That was my mom's church. Everything about what we're talking about goes against my religious belief. No question about it. However, since I've had the opportunity to live in the Western world, and that doesn't change the fact that I still hold my African principles and morals, I have understood as a young professional that when we integrate ourselves into this world and we meet different people across what we do, we have to adapt. And when I mean adapt, doesn't mean we change our religious beliefs, or we change the principles and morals that was instilled upon us by our parents. When I say adapt, I talk about how we look at life and how we prepare ourselves for the different things that we face each day. So for me, from a religious standpoint, I don't agree with it. As a father, my responsibility is to train my children
Thank
and
you.
teach them the same things that my parents taught me, so that when I'm old enough to make the decisions that I've made, this will not be one of the decisions we have to
This is
make.
very
So
interesting.
what I would say is, I don't agree with such act, but at the same time, I look at them as human beings, and if what they do as individuals is productive to society, whether they're healthcare practitioners, they're engineers, they're business people, I don't have a problem with that. You spoke earlier about how do the relationships benefit society. Look, I gave an example. Maybe you guys missed the comment, right? I know two pharmacists, male guys, that adopted a little girl.
SB, you gotta hit your point though. We got a lot of the lines are buzzing, boss.
I'm getting there.
All right.
I'm gonna get there, bro.
All right.
I still keep my relationship with them because we worked together for years. The little girl that those guys adopted today is about to graduate as a law student, and she's gonna be a productive citizen. So from a practical standpoint, I judge them based on how you contribute to society. From my religious belief, however, I don't have to support that lifestyle. So my understanding is life is about balance. I have to have a balance from a religious perspective, but also from a human and practical perspective. So we can't just look at this from one scope and just say, because of this reason, you're castigated and that's it. And so that's just how I see it.
Thank you, SB. Let's go to our next caller, folks. When you get on the line, please, you have a minute and 30 seconds.
Yes.
The lines are buzzing, and you have the opportunity to contribute. You got 267. Last four is 2822. Caller, your name and where you calling us from, please.
Hello. Hello.
Caller from 267. Last four is 2822. If that is not your number, please hold up until I called your number, please.
Hello, how you doing?
Caller from 267.
Lyrical.
All right, go ahead.
Hello. Can you get me?
Are you the caller from 267 and your last four is 2822?
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead. Your name and where you calling us
How
from?
you doing? How you doing? I'm Lyrical. I'm calling from Jersey. First of all, I just want to say thank you to you guys. I appreciate the time and everything, all the ladies and the entire team. But I'm gonna cut it short. And I pray to God when you're having the second segment, that's the second part of it, as Steve said. Can I please be a guest on the biblical part, please?
Okay.
Tell him we'll call him, Lufa. Tell him I'll call him.
If you are Christian, a believer, follower of Christ, I'm not telling nobody you're not or you are, but as a Christian, your faith is your faith. You can't compromise it.
That's right.
If God is against you and you follow Jesus Christ, there is no compromise. The Bible says in Colossians chapter 2, you cannot take the philosophy of man and mix it with the business of God.
Thank you.
Because the philosophy of man is not of God.
Thank you.
It's influenced by evil spirits.
Thank you.
You can't put them together. So as a believer, they don't go together.
Thank you, Lyrical. Let's go to our next caller here. God, people are still calling in. Let's go to our caller from 215. Last four is 9648. Caller, your name and where you calling us from, please. Guys, if you're on the line, please put your phone on mute or else I will have to let you go and you will lose your space in line. Please put your phones on mute.
Hello.
Put your phones on mute. All right, caller from 215. Last four is 9648. Your name and where you calling us from? These people were not listening. Please lower your monitor. How is it that, all right, guys, I think I'm going to have to let a few people go here if people cannot put the phones on mute. All right, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let, yes, that person. All right, let's go. Caller from 347. Last four is 1642. Your name and where you calling us from? 347. Last four is 1642. Your name and where you calling us from?
Hello.
Hello.
You hear me?
I can hear you. Your name and where you calling from?
Can you hear me? This is Coach King. I'm from the United States. Alexa.
We can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead. What's your contribution? Stop listening to the device you have with you and speak directly in the phone, please. All right. It appears that people are really not getting this up. There you go. We just lost everybody online because nobody wanted to. All right, guys. I don't know. The phone lines I literally had to get shut down because it was buzzing way more, and nobody wanted to really give anybody the opportunity to contribute here because everybody kept the phone on mute. I would take one call at a time if you want me to. If not, if you guys want to wrap things up right now due to time constraints.
We had till 9:15. I think I posted in our chat that we can go for 15 minutes. So
we can go for 15 more minutes. All right. I'll keep the line open as long as people are willing to just.
Wait, you said 9:15. We are 9:09 already.
Oh, 5 minutes left.
9:10.
5 minutes left.
All right. I will keep the lines open. If anybody want to call back, unfortunately, we cannot understand you if you have people with the phones turned on and there's so much noise in the back. Your monitors. I want to bring as many people in as I can to contribute to this conversation, but respect other people and turn your phones on mute. Call it from 410. Last four is 4482. Give us your name and where you calling us from. You got a minute, 30 seconds.
Yeah. No problem. I'll just take 1 minute. I've never been rude to these girls. I'll share this with you my first time because the topic is interesting.
Okay.
I'm enjoying the commotion in there. I like to see them fight. It's some reason with people good. A fight and it's entertaining.
Okay.
But it's important to clarify certain things. When the radical lady, and I say this with a lot of law, I want to say that being heterosexual is a choice that somebody makes, so they should respect other people's choices. Being heterosexual is not a choice. Being heterosexual is not a choice. You were created heterosexual. If you don't believe me, just get two individuals, one man, one woman, okay, butt naked, and just look at them through the mirror. You see that we were made as things about a heterosexual. It's not a choice. Another thing you keep saying that people misunderstand, but people interpreting the Bible their way. I am not a religious person, and by the way, I do not even subscribe to a lot of the biblical stories. However, the Bible clearly says in many, many verses in the Bible that a man and a woman shall become one. It never said a man and a man. So you are the one who is misinterpreting in the Bible. Let us be fresh here, okay? Based on my understanding and my knowledge, being somebody who went to school for healthcare administration, we did a little bit of psychology, not to your level, not to you guys' level in the studio. We do know that some people have hormonal issues that sometimes lead to but it's basically frustration because of the way their hormones are redirecting and misdirecting, and sometimes it leads to that.
It's part of their maker.
It is really not their choices. It is not their choice. Sometimes it's a biological thing, to be honest with you. But the truth of the matter is that God intends or nature. Let's just take the religious part of it. Okay, the nature intent for a woman is for the woman, and the Bible and the Quran also amplifies this, that we should come and multiply. How do you think we're going to multiply? By two men having sex or by a man and a woman having sex? So you are misunderstanding the Bible completely. And we just need to clarify that for the other. And this is not to say that anybody is against people who are homosexual. Nobody hates them. I don't hate homosexual. My supervisors have been homosexual, and we have other relationships. But what the beautiful lady is saying is, my son cannot come to me and tell me that he is. I'll probably, if my gun is around, I'll probably shoot. Even if it's by him, I might shoot in the air because I'll be frustrated. That's not what I expect. And that's what she's saying.
Okay.
She's saying she hates homosexuals. But thank you so much, Lupa, for the opportunity.
Thank you. All right. There's nobody else on the line, guys. We have about a minute left. We had the line clocked up to about 12 callers on the line, but unfortunately, we had to let them go.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for everyone who called in. We appreciate you guys and
Yes,
everything.
thank you. Thank you for
Thank
being
you,
engaged
guys.
in the conversation today and sticking with us. We really appreciate you guys today. It was a great, great conversation. Steve, my man Steve. Always a great time with Steve. we may disagree, but to be honest, I love when Steve come on here because he can keep the conversation going.
Well, he always start with something controversial, like he makes
Yes.
like,
No, he come at us very nice. Oh, thank you, my beautiful ladies. They ready for us.
But definitely, I think we're definitely going to think about part 2. I think it's needed because again, there's a part that I never touched on, the religious aspect of it. So it's important. But again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for your contributions. Thanks for everything that was stated.
Guys, before you leave, hold on 1 second. I got Pastor Ernest on the line. He would like to contribute, please. Pastor Ernest, I'll give you about 1:30 seconds, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear, Pastor Ernest. Go ahead.
Good. It is a fascinating composition, and you guys are doing a great job. It's just the fact that being a Christian, let's just forget about being a pastor woman, but being a Christian, we look at things from biblical perspective, and I respect wherever you other people come from. In America, we have what we call follow the Constitution of the church. We have separation of churches and states. So even if the federal government make a decision today based on the Constitution, the church can revoke that or the church can refuse that. I mean, I have 4 girls. I have 3 girls and a son. And if my son show up tomorrow, God forbid, that he's going to go the other route, I mean, I'm not going to hate my son, but I'm going to hate the fact that he chooses to go the other route. Am I going to still love my son? Absolutely. He's my son. He has my DNA. But as a pastor and as a believer, I look at things from the eyes of biblical perspective. That's my worldview. That's how I look at things. Not trying to condemn anybody else, but it's very important that we instill biblical values in our kids. Again, it's very important. So I don't know what everybody believes, but I mean, I'm not going to hate somebody that show up to my church and say, "Oh, I'm a homosexual. This is my girlfriend. I'm a girl." I mean, I'm going to accept you in my church. I tell my congregation all the time, I'm going to accept you, but that attitude is not going to be practiced, because you know what? I believe that when you stay under my preaching and my teaching without condemnation, the Holy Spirit will convict you through the Word of God to know that this is not good. So I'm not going to say, no, don't come here. But am I going to endorse you? Absolutely not. Am I going to recognize you? Absolutely not. But am I going to love you? Absolutely, I'm going to love you. Because I believe it is the Holy Spirit that convicts. And you being in the presence of God and listening to the word, there's a possibility that you can change your mind. Thank you for the show. I just wanted to throw that in there.
All right, guys. Thanks for allowing me to bring that final caller in for the night. And I promise we are not taking any more calls. You can give us your parting comments, and I'll be right out of here, off the camera, and not to come back. You're muted, Mama. You're muted.
Steve, let me give you the opportunity, since you are a guest. Let me give you the opportunity to close. But again, we will discuss the second part 2, may I say, of the show. Because again, this is a heated conversation. And yeah, you're right. Definitely the next part is needed. So we'll keep you posted.
Thank you so much. Let me say this. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the invite, even though it was I got my call from Hawa last minute, but you know, I always answer anytime she calls. I want to make a confession before I make my closing statement. The confession is your blame rose. I remember I told you the secret. Your Vanessa, your blame rose.
Oh,
But
let
out
me
of
hear the
town.
secret.
Sure, out of town. But in all honesty, thank you. I think these are some of the conversations we need to be having. It brings different views. It also educates and informs our people who are back home. To be very honest, we might not all agree here on things, but I think it's important for us to have these kind of healthy discussions and conversations. And I was enjoying your going back and forth. I was just laughing. The last thing I want to say is there is no way. I know next time we'll talk about the religious part. There is no way, in no way, a Christian or pastor will not condemn somebody who is practicing homosexuality and yet preach to them. Even if they didn't mean to condemn them, the people who are practicing that act will think they're condemning them. Just the fact that you take opposition alone about this act make people to feel uncomfortable, unwelcome. That is to tell you in itself that this thing is not natural. I will say this. Anywhere you put this thing, I don't support this lifestyle in any way, shape, or form. I want to be on record for that. I will never support it because you know what? It has no long-term benefits. And I stand with what I said today. Everything I say, I stand with it. I don't take anything back and I don't regret what I said. Let's continue to stay with the truth and for the truth. Thank you so much. Have a good night. I look forward to the next time.
Yes.
Yes, you'll be a part two.
Rose?
You're on mute.
You're on mute, babe. Hold on. Got you.
Like I said, I was brought up in a Christian home, and my foundation is from there. That's why I'm what I am today. That's why I'm who I am today. That's what I do today. That's why I stay doing what I do today. So no matter where I go, no matter where I find myself, no matter what part of the world I find myself, I will always stand by my foundation because that's very important. And I would like to, say here today that I love everybody. I don't discriminate. I don't hate nobody. I have friends that are lesbians. I have friends that are gay. I have friends that I dance with, that do it on a cover, that I know of them. I don't discriminate them. I don't say I don't like them. I have the same love for people that have husbands and boyfriends. The same love I have for them. But like I said, and all the other callers was commenting on what I said. When it comes to my child,
I have kids that are gay.
When it comes to my child, this is something that I pray God. And I have this conversation with my son every day. I ask him, who do you like? Because I want to know. It's devastating to me if I ever hear my son want to go the other way. And I would not turn around from that statement because that's who I am and that's my child. So again, whatever you want to do with your life, do with your life. People marry, people have second women, people have girlfriends, people sleep around. All the things that are in the Bible, people don't go by. Married men cheats, married women cheats, and it's against the Bible. So whatever you want to do with your life, you are welcome. And I love you and I welcome it. But when it comes to me, my foundation, it can never change. So that's my parting statement.
Vanessa?
Well, I thought I was commentating. Like, you don't want to get your last name. You forget about yourself?
Like I said earlier, thanks. This is a much needed conversation. If you guys are watching and this is your very first time watching, we come on every Friday, 7 p.m. and have these controversial, much needed, taboo discussions. Okay. So what we read on here, I just want to be clear about something. What we read on here, we do our studies, we do research, because most of us on here are professional in other areas. I'm a nurse. There are things that I'm not going to talk about because again, that's not my career. I'm not into that. But when we come on here and do our research and read what was written, we read it based on what was written, and then we discuss it. It does not have anything to do with our personal beliefs. We can state our opinions about what the discussion is about. But what I would not have anyone doing is coming for any one of my co-hosts here. based on a conversation that's being held on here. Okay. Now, the conversation of gay, bisexual, lesbian, whoever you identify yourself as, you as an individual have to be able to stand firm with that identification. That's it. And as a Bible believing Christian woman, I know that God gave us the opportunity to make decisions. He also wants you to follow his steps. So whatever decision you make, you have to answer to it. All we pray for is that you know that you as an individual have to stand firm on that decision that you made. Okay? That's all I have to say. So we're going to talk about the religion aspect of it next time, and then we can get more into it. But this is a great conversation. It's much, much needed. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our night. A very interesting, hot night. No, but we thank everybody. We thank our viewers for being engaged. We thank our co-host Steve. We even thank our temporary co-host Lofa for stepping in. That's right. Thank you. We appreciate all of you, and we all hope that you all have a wonderful weekend. And we hope that you will tune in next time when we do our part 2, and also tune in as well as we talk about other topics that affect our society. Have a good night.
Good night.
Big baka, dosi urikari. Light skin, make a fire Mariah Carey. Carry road, get my heart stolen. Once I fall in love with your baby, no controlling. Ripe like plant, sweet like pine wine, cocoa butter baby. Brown skin gal, no time for doll, color cocoa baby. Temperature rise, girl, give me that, give me. Waiting for me pronto, moving real fast like a semi. I see that they like it. Call me Papoose, you be the Remy. And they call me Mr.
Hello. My name is Miss Monet. I'm a neo-traditional artist from Mama Liberia. I showcase our Liberian culture and tradition to the rest of the world. And today, you are watching Across Africa TV Network.